Keeping it real with Kenny.
Hello, wonderful viewers and subscribers out there. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Keeping It Real with Kenny Adeyemo. Welcome you once again to another wonderful topic of today called relationships. We are going to be looking at reason why relationship falls and why relationship stands. Keeping It Real with Kenny Adeyemo is actually in association with Sanctuary of the Holy Spirit. As you all know, I'm one of the pastors there. And you know what? Today's guest is also a member of the Sanctuary of the Holy Spirit. And this is to let you know that Sanctuary of the Holy Spirit is blessed with experienced and dedicated members, which we all help people out there, myself and yourself. Everybody will make us better off physically, spiritually, and mentally, and we all make this world a better place to live in. So if you're looking for a church to worship, you are always welcome. Our weekly service runs from Wednesdays to Sunday. The Sunday service starts from 12 o'clock. We would love to have you. Feel free to join us, and you're welcome. So after the short break, we are going to dive straight into our topic for today.
Yes.
And we would see you then. Ladies and gentlemen, lovely viewers out there, join me as I welcome Chief Kenny Adeyemo.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm so glad to be here.
Nice to see you once again.
Once again. It's been a while I've been featured on this program.
I know.
But you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
All glory to God.
Thank you so much.
So anyway, viewers, my name is Chief Kenny Adeyemo, and I am a man of many parts. I train as a lawyer, and I'm also a businessman, and I'm also a coach. I do a lot of coaching in life matters, financial intelligence, education, relationships, negotiation, communication, all the things that make people succeed in life generally is what my passion and my mission makes me to teach. And I'm glad to be here.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So viewers out there, you've heard it all. If you need any help or any advice, feel free to message or put a comment in the comment section, and I will get Chief Kenny Adeyemo across to you. Okay? So, let's dive into today's topic quickly.
Relationships, yes.
It's a big topic, isn't it?
Why they stand,
why they stand and why they fall.
It's like a building, really, when you think about it. I like the way I like your topic, the way you put it, why they stand, why they fall. As I was coming down to the studio here, I kept thinking, that's a very interesting topic. Because
I know.
People talk about home, and home is different from a house. And whether it's a home or house, they stand or they fall. And so your point about why they stand and why they fall is quite on point, really.
Thank you so much. So when we say why they stand, we're linking it to the biblical aspect now, where if you have a good foundation, you build a house on a solid foundation, and it stands.
Yes. A house built on a rock is going to stand more than the one that's just built on the sand.
Okay.
And the Bible has always told us that where the foundation is weak, what can the righteous do? So that's really a very important part of marriage or relationships anyway.
Okay. Thank you so much. So what is relationship? When we talk about relationship, it's about coming together, two people from different backgrounds, different culture, coming together to live as one. Yeah.
I mean, it starts first by obviously noticing each other, you
hey, I like you. Oh, I like you.
Yeah, it's like going to the shops.
Exactly.
You do some window shopping. You notice what you want to buy.
I know.
Say one day I will buy that.
I know.
And so it starts with noticing, and then noticing will then lead to meeting. You need to first meet. You need to enter the shop now and make some inquiry. So meeting will of course be one of the major steps in securing a relationship. And we meet people through different ways. I mean, obviously, it's not just church alone that Christians will meet people. You can be on the aircraft, you can be on the ship, you can be
Even
in the taxi,
shops as well.
you can be in the shops, you can be in the school, you can be in
a restaurant.
in a restaurant, in a football field, or whatever. What is important is that there must be a meeting. And when two people meet, then there must be a meeting of mind. A meeting of mind in the sense that they will agree to meet again. And that meeting again, of course, will be what we call in Christendom courtship. So courtship, of course, will be the next thing. Obviously, getting to know each other. You know, what type of bed you like, what type of place you stay, and so there's a lot of things that goes into relationships at the preliminary stages before we go into the, you know, the finished house, which we are now going to be considering later on about why that house stand and why that house fall.
Okay. Thank you so much. So when we're talking about courtship, okay, you agree, it looks like I like that person. And this is to young couples out there, you know, or when you're about to date, you know, when you see someone you like and all that stuff. So there has to be an agreement first.
Yes,
before it now gets to courting, isn't it?
Precisely, yes.
Okay. And when you're courting, this is the stage where you see the do's and don'ts.
That's a very critical stage because that's where all the signals and all the red flags start showing. If you're meeting somebody for the first time or for the second time and you say it's 3 o'clock and they come at 6 o'clock and they come at 6 o'clock and they just say, where are we eating? You know, without saying sorry. Then of course that gives you it gives you some insight into the nature of that person. It may well be a one-off attitude, but if it comes around a lot, if it keeps repeating itself, then you're now seeing a pattern, and that pattern will, of course, let you know whether this is just the kind of person you want to meet again, the kind of person you want to carry on the courtship with, or maybe you want to reconsider your position.
So what if, because I know two people coming together now, what if the guy is like thinking, okay, maybe she would change with time, or maybe I can live with it?
Well,
that's a bit risky, isn't it?
It is risky. And you tend to find that those who are desperate for anything always make a mistake. It is going to be a desperate thing for you to assume that somebody that has no, if you like, punctuality manners, the first time, second time, and does not have polite manners of saying sorry that I'm late, is going to change. And this actually really does happen with women a lot. Women always think they can change men.
You think it's only women?
I always say to people, what you see is what you get. If that's what you see, then decide whether you can live with that, or make sure you know that you can, that's basically what you're going. That's your package on that level.
The bit I could speak for women out there. I'm on your side though. The bit I could speak for women is when you're going on a location. Maybe our makeup or our gele, our headgear could be the one disturbing us. Or not getting ready on time. But when it comes to late coming, say for example, here your punctuality is an essential, but back home, there's traffic, and they always, everything is all back to traffic. They're stuck in traffic and all. I'm a Nigerian, yeah. And if someone says, I will meet you at...
And there's Nigerian time.
And there's a Nigerian time, especially when you go to parties.
Yes.
And they say the party starts at 2 o'clock. The full swing of that party starts at 6, basically. So when you say 2 o'clock, you're wasting your time going there, sit down at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
So it's kind of like part of us.
Yeah. But that's in the context of a party.
That's the thing.
For me, if I've got a date or somebody wants to meet me in my early days, and I say I'm going to have Italian, I've chosen an Italian restaurant. Obviously everything has time. You don't want to come when the restaurant is closing. You don't want to come at 7 o'clock just because you think it's Nigerian time. So these are little signals that I usually watch in those days. And I've said to myself, look, if this person is going to not respect my time, then maybe we're going to have a word about it. And of course, it's not going to be about criticizing each other. It's about just probably discussing it. And that's where communication during courtship is very, very important. And instead of blaming the person, you can blame in the act. You can say, when you come late to meet me, it does really
It hurts me.
It does, it does really affect other things.
Let them know how you feel.
Let them know how you feel. So it's quite important to be able to deal with that signal. Also state your boundaries. But it goes for men and women. If it's a man, you tell the man as well. If it's a woman, you tell them, because it's important to communicate very early what you don't like.
So that means if you don't tell them, they wouldn't know and they wouldn't change.
Yeah,
You kind of like groom them into what you want them to be.
They are not witches. And nobody can be groomed, really. Actually, a philosopher used to say, nobody actually can ever be changed. People can only learn themselves.
Okay.
So it's really a hard task to try and change anyone. The only thing is just to try and use opportunities to give them the room to see a better way to do what they are doing.
Ways.
And then when they find that it's useful, it's a productive system,
they get used to it.
Then you don't need to force them to change. So it's all about gently, nodding them towards that thing.
In a good way.
Exactly.
Because if you say it in a very harsh way, the message will not be passed across.
Precisely. It's like a child, if they start eating and you want to make them to use the spoon,
the left hand,
instead of grabbing things from the floor. There's a way you teach them
nicely
that the spoon is easier. Why don't you use the spoon to? By the time the child gets it, the child gets, well, this is even better than what I was trying to do, and then you don't need to force them. You don't need to use a cane to even teach them.
Say, for example, it's not even actually punctuality only. Say, for example, it could be many things. Like, okay, a couple, you get to press the toothpaste from the top.
Yeah.
They get to press the toothpaste from the top, and the husband likes pressing it from the bottom. And just pressing the toothpaste from the top and bottom is now a big issue in the house.
So you need to tell whoever is doing what you don't like the advantages of pressing the toothpaste from the top versus pressing it from the bottom.
So what if both parties do not agree with each other? So they now can come to a compromise and meet in the middle.
That's where the word compromise comes in. And that's where most relationships really can only thrive, from the point of where the couple can share values. And then once the values are shared, where there's a deficit on one side, then you credit it from the other side. And that is what we call healthy compromise. Trying to make sure that you live and you let me live. And that's really the essence of coming together in relationships.
Because I know a lot of single people out there, they're kind of like scared of going into a relationship because of all these loopholes, you see.
Yeah.
So, like you said, communication is a very good point.
Yeah. So I would say to the young people there, don't enter into a relationship, or don't even think of marrying anyone that you cannot be free to talk to, because it will really cause problem when you eventually settle down together, if that's the person you want to be with.
Okay.
Because most people will have left you in the house because they cannot talk to you many years before the divorce even starts. And that's what my experience has told me. As a lawyer practicing, on some of those issues, I find that when I asked, the grieving, the one with the grievance, when did you stop talking to the other party? The other party did not know that they've stopped talking to them for years, because, everybody's just tolerating each other because they don't want to talk about it. And any relationship where you cannot openly discuss matters is a time bomb ticking, really.
Wow. Okay. Because I know most times they say, distance could cause that. Age difference could cause that as well, But you should have looked into all this before dabbling into it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think really it's all about making a decision. I think relationship is not confined to issues of age or distance or location or whatever.
That shouldn't be an excuse, isn't it?
It is all about making sure you are becoming the person that the person, of course, wants to be with, and the person is becoming the person you want to be with. If you can't be with the person and they can't be with you, then of course there's trouble awaiting you in the future.
So in a nutshell, while you're courting is the best time to notice all these things. Make sure you're getting involved with your best friend, someone you could relate with. You're free to talk to.
Yes, and there are some signals you need to look at also. If you go to their parents' house or whatever, look at the setup of the house.
That's a big one.
Look at how even the furniture in their house is laid. A disorganized house will tell you there's a disorganized mind. And if that's how their house is looking like, and either as a boy or a girl, then of course you should know what you expect. Unless
yeah.
you're going to really be the one to really compromise for those deficiencies. So some ladies will wake up and they cannot even lay the bed. Some men will wake up and they can't lay the bed. And it's not just starting during the marriage, it has started from the homes. And that's what people need to watch out from early.
Okay. And also talking about when you go to your in-laws and stuff, that's another big point on its own.
Oh yes,
it's a massive one.
We can have
we can have a full topic of that.
We can have a full topic. How to deal with difficult in-laws is another topic we can talk about.
In our adage, they always say, "Anoburuku osheni."
Omoburuku shefe. Anoburuku osheni.
That's it. Yeah.
Which means you can have a bad spouse, but it's going to be a hell for you to have bad in-laws. And it's because really people tend to reflect the homes where they come from. So if father is always a tempestuous, quick to anger person, then if your
husband,
if your prospective husband or boyfriend, has a very hot temper, then of course you can see from the father. And then you need to know how the mother, if you need to watch out from the mother, how the mother actually, handles that. And if you think that the mother handles very well, then you need to learn from the mother-in-law early how to calm down such a tempestuous person. It's all about really watching out for the signals very early.
So viewers out there, it's always good to see how your partner treats their parents.
And treats you.
From there, you will know how they're going to be treating you.
Precisely.
Because they learn from their parents, isn't it?
Precisely.
That's a very big point.
Yes.
And especially if you're a girl out there, watch the way your partner treats the mom and sisters.
Yeah. Are they caring? Are they kind? Are they polite? These are things that you need to watch out for. And one of the things to watch out for during the courtship, of course, is whether your partner or prospective husband is generous. There's no romance without finance.
That's true.
Is what I tell people. So, there's no way you're going to get out of, spending for each other. And if you have a spouse that cannot even buy you a burger on the first outing,
let alone a bag or shoe,
then then
there's no way.
then you need to start thinking about your position. Of course, if you are the one that is much more endowed financially more than the person, then of course,
there's going to be a problem.
You can help them more. But again, the whole idea is to let every party bring something to the table. Because if you're a woman and you think that traditionally, a man is supposed to get a house, is supposed to pay the rent or pay the mortgage, supposed to buy me a house, supposed to buy my mommy the yams. If you do all that, then basically you're just mortgaging your future with the man when the marriage is consumed.
Yeah, I from what you've said, sir, I can relate with what you're saying. I think it's a mentality thinking men has to do all those things, but women were meant to support. When a man is the head, the woman is meant to be the neck. So I see some people when they have like elaborate wedding, expensive wedding, and the man is the one doing the whole expenses and all that stuff. Women not contributing anything. Yeah. By the time they now get married and now get to their marital home,
the guy will be talking about it.
Exactly.
He might even be abusing you because of that.
Exactly.
Yes.
He would kind of say, "I paid my dowry. I paid everything they asked for in your house."
Yes.
And
on that, really, one of the things I would say to young people or even people that want to get married or get into any relationship on the issues of respect for each other. And I tend to find that as a man, I can say for myself, respect for a man is not just about kneeling down for him. It's not just about calling him sir. It's not about
the crown of my head.
It's not all that. Respect is defined by the man. It is how he wants to be respected that you need to learn from. You need to observe what he calls respect. Respect may be to him when we want to do the wedding party, let me be the one to lead you on how much we want to do it. Some women will say, no, he has to be elaborate. He has to be this.
My friend did this, my friend did that. The Ashua B is another issue.
And some men will just be looking at you very quietly and let the event finish before they deal with you. And people must remember this cliche also. A wedding is different from a marriage. A wedding is just an event. Marriage is a relationship of lifetime. And during marriage and after marriage, you need to manage. So if you are looking at a man that cannot manage money or manage life even before the wedding date, then you need to consider a position before whether the wedding needs to go ahead.
Wow. Viewers, are we listening? That is a very important topic there. A very, very, very important point being made. So when we're making or discussing about weddings, when we're choosing stuff for weddings, let us be considerate. Be reasonable.
Let your man lead.
Let him lead. Give him that respect.
Give him that respect. Let him lead. Let him tell you his budget. Let him tell you how much he can afford. And it's really a matter of negotiation. And everything is negotiable. I've seen couples that really end up divorcing over the dispute on whether the wife was the one that pushed the man to buy 52 yams instead of 48 yams, And, it's because somehow there was not enough communication or respect from one party to the other. And so this is very important for people to bear in mind. Money usually sometimes are the causes of why relationships stand or fall. Financial issues. It's one of the things I've seen as a lawyer.
And also, with what you've said, respect is one of them as well.
In fact, a man to
the major one.
They say road to the man's belly is food. It's not necessarily food. Not every man likes food. I don't eat much, for example, and I always joke: if it's food, I can get it anywhere. But respect, I expect it from those who are dealing with me. And I don't mean in a way that is arrogant. I don't mean that in a way that I want to be bossy. But I just want you to respect me for who I am. And one of the best things to do for each other when you are in a relationship is to listen. Both sides should listen to each other, and that's one major respect.
Because you can know how to cook, but you have a very bad character.
Correct.
And you don't have respect for anyone. Even your in-laws, you've
and your attitude really in
slashed them
relationships.
left, right, and center.
Yeah. Yoruba will say, in other words, if you are coming with me with food, and you are saying your dinner is ready, but you are rude to me, you are disrespecting me in the morning, and you expect me to enjoy that dinner, then there's a problem.
There's a problem. Wow. So that's very important. Respect is another big one.
It's a big issue. It's a big issue. And it should be both ways, but especially women should understand that, especially Christian should understand that the order that God has given us is that men should love women. And women should submit to their husbands. Submission is respect.
That's it.
It doesn't mean that the husband is now enslaving you. It doesn't mean he's abusing you, but it just means that when he says push, you push. When he says pull, you pull. Let the man, a lot of women do that mistake as well. They give their men unsolicited advice. Men don't like to be mummied sometimes. If I am not asking you for advice, don't tell me that, I should do it this way.
Okay, what about in situations where you feel, okay, the advice my husband or boyfriend has given me, that could have a good idea. The way you put it is what matters. You say it, but you have two people coming together and decide about something.
Yeah.
But it's the way you put it. Even though you don't agree with what he said, there's a way you could say it and he could agree with you.
Yeah, but if a man is going out, for example, that doesn't like jewelry, someone like me, and the woman is now saying, give me an unsolicited advice that it would be nice for me to wear a chain, then I don't need it. Because these are, you need to understand each other and to understand what the man wants before you give the advice. Is what I'm trying to say. It's okay to talk, on big issues, on, where the children is going to go to school, whether the child is going abroad to study, whether we want to buy a house in a particular location, whether we want to take a mortgage or rent, all those big decisions, yes, you can discuss and all that. But in terms of how much rent we can afford, let the man decide.
Okay.
Because otherwise it becomes a problem later.
That's right. And also I was going to say, being a Christian, I know a lot of people out there, you're over spiritual, thinking, oh, God showed me this. You too, if someone has told you that, God showed me you are my partner, go and pray about it as well.
Yes.
Test all spirits.
Yes.
Whatever people tell you, isn't it? Whatever people tell you, you too go and pray about it.
And it's very important.
Don't tell someone to pray on your behalf.
Exactly.
Have an experience with God.
Yes.
Get a confirmation that person, so that at least you don't get it wrong.
Correct. I mean, it's very important that people should also, in relationships, don't try to bring third-party information into the marriage. Try to make sure you talk to your partner and get the information together to be clarified and all that. Even if it's a direction from God, get that same information from God together, pray
Exactly.
together. You know, a lot of marriages have been destroyed by one of the parties going to one woli or third
the
party,
other one going to another alpha.
woli, and there'll be a lot of clashes of woli, you know, over the house and everything. And so people need to be very careful.
Yeah.
You know, spiritual culture should be united. You know, again, talking about that, you know, I from my birth, I was an Anglican.
Okay.
My daddy is an Anglican, and my mother is an Anglican. So to me, I always find it quite difficult when I see a woman going to Christ of Apostolic Church here, and then the husband says, "Oh, bye-bye," and I'm going to Divine Love there. You know, it's you know, that's where the beginning of the problem starts.
That's it. That's
and if your wife now starts going out with brother so at another church, and your husband now goes with sister so at another church, then you know you
start getting envious.
Then you know you caused the problem
exactly.
yourself.
Exactly. And also when you're looking up to God and you're praying about it, don't fall in love yet. Because when you fall in love, no matter what anyone tells you, you cannot listen.
You won't listen. That's the point. That's the problem.
You won't listen.
You won't listen. That's another issue. People should remember that as long as you trust God and you make Jesus as a Christian your first point of contact when you are searching and when you are trying to pick, then it will not guide you wrongly. But unfortunately, a lot of people once they conclude that brother so is is the same height I want, is the same stature,
it's the same height,
it's the same this and that, then there's nothing you can say. Even if you are saying God says you should not marry the brother so. I say no, he's my type. He's and that is what
he's got the physique, he's got everything, 6 packs. People out there,
exactly.
6-pack doesn't make a marriage well. Oh.
Exactly.
So you need to be careful out there.
Exactly. So beauty fades, and beauty cannot last forever. The character of the person you are going to get into is what you really need to pay attention to.
Yeah, and they always say all that glitters are not gold.
Yes.
You could see someone with all pancake and weave on and everything, you know. Make sure you study the person very well. Don't fall in love before you pray about it. Pray about it first, and then you work on each other.
Yes.
That's the good way out.
Another thing on relationships, why they fall and stand is where people don't give themselves spaces. And it can even be evident from courtship stage. You know, if you have a boyfriend that always calls you everywhere, where are you? Have you reached the station? Where are you?
Show me a video. Let me see where you are.
Yeah,
let me just confirm.
Yeah.
Show me a video. Let me see the background.
Have you placed your back down? It can be so clumsy. And it starts from that courtship stage. Insecurity, monitoring spirit, and all these things. So if you really are going to marry somebody that you want to be happy with, you want to make sure it is somebody that can give, both of you can give yourself enough room to grow, to be who you are, not somebody that's always constantly, over your head. That doesn't mean, and don't forget, I'm not trying to say that people should not be close enough to want to know where you are. And I know that people check on each other sometimes to know that they are well. But ringing several times just to try and find out trivia issues about each other on the way, to me, it's definitely
it's wrong.
It's a no-no.
And also when someone lifts their hands to beat you, an abusive one.
Oh, that's a serious one.
Abusive marriage or union or relationship, it's very, very
and
bad.
you can tell the way the one of the partners deal with the other people. If they tell you stories about how they beat people or how they beat somebody near death
or even if they beat their sister.
Oh yes, then that would tell you
that you will be beaten as well.
Exactly. Or you need to make sure you just check that they have really been fully rehabilitated. Again, it's just a risk. If somebody has that violent background, people don't change. As I said, people can only learn. And so it's very important to bear that in mind.
So does that mean it's always good at least to test their patience while you're courting, just in case? Because some people tend to pretend while you're courting.
Yeah, there's room for testing.
Yeah, you can test their patience.
When I was younger, I love testing my girlfriends or whoever I was, in those days by deliberately making some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I may say I will meet you at a particular station, then I'll go to another station and then tell the person I'm at that station. I want to see how she's going to react to that stupidity.
Because you might be landed a slap by the time some people are aggressive.
No, I will tell you this, some real life experience. That's why the lady never became my wife, because she actually told me to go back to where I came from. She says, don't even bother to see me again, or you went to another station, just go back to where you are. And I said, so just because of this offense, okay, so that would tell
that's
me.
a good test.
That's a good test.
At least you did see her physically.
At least I know who she is. So this is just one of the things you need to do.
You need
There's
to
room
test.
for testing. Yeah.
Make sure you test. Why cutting? Not when you're married.
But mind you, testing is different from manipulation. So don't manipulate your partners.
Don't manipulate. I didn't say that.
Just test. Just test.
Testing. And I also know of someone that the person said they prefer not to get married.
Yes.
They love their space. I wouldn't say they're selfish. They just want to, because the longevity of marriage actually scares that person. Maybe with what they've seen or heard, they just want to be alone and they just like to have friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of precedents for why marriages don't really work. And we see these days that people, who marry, most of them, statistics tells us that people marry today and in 4 years, and on average, they are really into trouble and all that. And it's usually because people have not given themselves the opportunity to really, really, really watch the signals and negotiate the signals.
Okay.
If you're the kind of homely person that wants to have your woman at home, I'm talking as a man now. If your nature is that you like to be at home, you like to watch TV, you like your woman to be at home, cook for you and all that, and then you now pick a girl that is
goes to parties every day,
always at nightclubs, and always. Then of course, there's no way.
There's going to be a clash. Definitely.
There'll be a clash along the way. So it's really a good recipe for divorce, I can tell you.
But they should have seen all this while cutting anyway.
But most people like to try and think they can change.
They can change.
Oh, by the time she becomes my wife, she will change. She will know that she's not a wife. No, if she loves clubbing, she will love clubbing.
She will forever love it.
I can tell you that now.
That's true.
And I've seen that with a lot of people.
Okay. Thank you for that. So viewers out there, we've heard it all. And also, I was going to come to this as well. I think this would be in marriages. Even when you're courting, when you notice your partner, especially men, they don't have a say on their side, the family side, then that's another issue. Because say, for example, if the mom says, sit down there, no, I don't want this one. And the man cannot put his feet down, saying, this is what I want. I'm not saying the mothers of
a stubborn wife.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or no, what I'm saying is, say for example, a man is kind of like a mommy's boy. Whatever, even if he gets married, whatever he says, the mom dictates how he runs his home.
Yes.
We need to look out for this as well. Why cutting? Say for example, if the mom is while they're cutting, the wife noticed some things.
It's a mommy's boy.
Kind of,
Yeah. And it's a sign of weakness in a man.
Very weak.
And most women, reason why a lot of women even cheat. Let's go about cheating now. A lot of women actually marry sometimes just to escape poverty. A man. And they actually be with somebody else they really love. And the reason why that is not together is because a lot of men show their weaknesses even right from the start. If a man is somebody that, a woman knows he can push around, does not have boundaries, they cannot tell a woman, look, my 5 o'clock is my 5 o'clock. I like my food this way. I do that. It's just like anything. Some guys, when you ask them, what do you want to eat? Say, anything, madam. Well, if you say anything, madam, then of course,
anything
madam
is nothing.
And it's a way that, by the time the madam start getting to the habit of just giving anything.
Anything.
Meanwhile, what you really mean is anything good. But if you are not communicating well and you are weak and you are a mommy's boy that cannot make decisions and you can just let anybody push you all over the place, women may like you and say he's a nice guy. I've seen guys who say, oh, mommy, I'll marry Ade because he's quiet, he's nice. Usually, what our lady is saying is,
you can push you around.
I can push him around. But that same lady prefers to meet Kevin, who is usually
a tough guy.
Typical tough guy. And that's really where cheating comes sometimes.
Okay. So that's why sometimes when they get married to maybe mommy just to keep mommy quiet that
Yes.
I'm not married yet.
Yes.
You know, you just get married to that one, and then you now go to maybe your childhood sweetheart
Yes.
or somebody out there that you know that knows you too well, rather than the person you're living with.
Yes.
So that's where the cheating comes in.
Yes.
So if we are courting or in a relationship, they should look out for all the signs. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, one of the things that I always say to people, there's nothing like my bestie, or I have a male best friend in relationships, or I have a girl that is also my friend as a man. There's nothing like that. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's one of the greatest recipes for failures. Because when your wife has another guy who she can talk to
Freely.
about everything, then what's your own role? Then you're diminished. Then you are not, you are more or less, some men will feel worthless. And instead of actually dealing with that, they may start looking for solutions elsewhere too. They will also look for another
girl outside to
that
talk
they
to.
can also talk to. And before you know, you have what they call a free house where everybody does what they like.
So that means something must have aggravated to get to that stage. Maybe they're feeling too pompous to apologize to each other or to relate it with each other. Then that's why the wife goes out there to chat or feel free with somebody else, or the husband goes out there, feel free with somebody else, because the communication, it's not going on in that home.
That is also possible, and that's one of the factors. But one of the main factors is right from the start, you find that it's what you tolerate that people will give you. So if you, right from day one, you have a girlfriend that is always talking to Vanessa, our friend, or Sandra, our friend, all day, whilst you are sitting down, doesn't talk to you.
Always on the phone.
Always on the phone. It may not be Vanessa, it may not be Sandra, it may even be Kevin, my schoolmate or my coursemate, or it's just my coursemate. And you don't check it, and you don't make yourself priority. That is how slowly power is being taken away from you. It can go both ways as well. So some men may even talk to their sisters for ages, and the wife will start getting jealous. Are you married to your sister or married to me? So these are issues that actually can really trigger cheating even. I won't worry about my husband because he's always at his sister's house. I know he will have eaten at his sister's, so I don't need to cook for him.
Assume.
Let me just go to see my friend too. And then she calls the husband, I'm at so friend's place. Don't worry about food. Well, I'm okay. Me and my friend are going to go for a nice kebab. And that's how it starts. And before you know, cheating begins.
And for example, if you're courting as well, or you're in a relationship, and then you tend to spend more time with your friends rather than your partner. I know men, they love going to clubs.
Your partner should really be your best
friend.
Oh,
exactly.
Yes.
So they like going to clubs. They like going, with that, you get enticed. Your friends bring some girls, and, you dabble into things you're not meant to. And with that, you leave the wife at home, or the other way around.
Yes.
And that's how cheating starts, isn't it?
Exactly.
And the friend you keep means a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
They said, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are.
Exactly. Environment matters also. Environment matters. And so if you really want a home that is free of chaos, you want to make sure that you keep yourself and your spouse or your relationships insulated from third party influence on a daily
That third party
basis.
thing is a really big issue.
It's a big issue.
That's what is destroying a lot of relationships.
Yeah, you'd be
today.
amazed how some churches also contribute to that. Pastors get involved, and people always say that even the way my wife treats the pastor is better than the way she treats me.
at home.
She calls the pastor daddy, and he only calls me Ade, and so on and so forth. So the church really has a job to do in making people understand that, look, I am just a pastor. I am not your husband. Make sure you treat your husband well.
I know Pastor used to say, if you can't kneel down for your husband at home, don't kneel down for me.
Precisely. So these are the kind of things that I find in the Christendom that really we need to also look at for. A lot of relationships are destroyed by what I call not knowing boundaries. Your husband has not eaten, but you are cooking jollof rice to give to pastor at church.
No.
Then you're sending a signal. And then, in fact, a lot of things that, you'll be amazed, horrible things we hear that happens among Christians. And that's why, you need to really, really watch those signals right from start.
Wow.
Another thing that, of course, I've seen, again, still on the same topic, is that a lot of people, don't understand that when you have relationships, even though God says we are born equal or had made us equal, and then we were supposed to be partners, the husband should be given the respect for leading the house, as I said earlier on. You know, when it comes to prayer time, don't just say, Mommy, Nico, pray all the time. A lot of people really relinquishes their power to their wives. And then they now worry when the wife now becomes much more of, well, you're giving me the power, I'm going to use it.
That's a good one.
So these are things that, you know, we need to be very careful about. You know.
And that's to men out there. Know your responsibilities, no boundaries.
Don't delegate. Awolowo or Obafemi Awolowo used to say, whatever, you know, if you delegate what you should not delegate, then you get what you deserve. And there's always been my watchword. You know, what I don't need to delegate, I don't need to delegate it. If a man is supposed to be the one to go and pay the school fees for the child, then do it. Don't say, Mommy, do. You are the one to do it. Then we go, you know, let Mommy do their own department. I always like that idea of department. My daddy used to say, your mommy is
it's
for
in our department.
My daddy used to say, your mommy is internal affairs minister. I am the external affairs minister.
He's the external one.
Exactly. So anything to do with outsiders, my daddy used to deal with them. And my mommy would have anything to do with home. And, you know, it took me a long time for me to understand why they did that way. But it's because they don't want to have role conflict and to be clashing.
Okay.
And they, just on this again, in terms of financial management, women are better managers of money.
Okay.
So if you're really a man that wants to be successful in your life, this is a good advice for you as a young man. Make sure you marry a woman you can trust with money. And when you have a woman that you can trust with money, you are very lucky. Because a woman that that you can trust with money is going to be the one to help you to build from little savings into big Empire. Investments and all that. And have what they call SPG, which my mother used to do for my mommy, my daddy. You want me to see the SPG?
Yeah, no, tell me please. I don't have a clue what it is.
SPG. You see, for many years when we were younger, when we were going to Sunday school, my daddy would give my mommy some money.
Okay.
You know, maybe #1 or whatever. And say, you know, for the children, you know, Sunday school money and all that stuff, offering and everything. And but my mommy did not know my daddy would ask sometimes for accounts of the money he gave every week for Sunday. So when my father started asking for, you know, how did you,
how was it spent?
How was it spent and everything? Oh, I bought Kole ice cream. I bought Yetunde, and that's my sister. I bought Yetunde this and that and that. My dad said, no problem. But you wrote down SPG here. My mother would not put SPG. After writing everything, my mother would not put SPG. And my daddy would always be quietly stomaching this SPG. One day he busted out.
What is this SPG?
He used to call my mother, yesterday, kilo SPG. That day was really where I learned something from my daddy. And my mommy said, you know what? The money you gave us is for God, Abby. So this SPG, because I cannot explain exactly what we use it for, I say something probably for God. So that's really another way to manage, you know, any dispute about financials, you can always put it under SPG. And then you will not have any dispute. So
I know. And also, talking about that, sir, when your husband gives you something, no matter how little it is, appreciate it.
Yes.
Don't say, this one cannot be enough.
You have just opened another
word. This is not enough.
A lot of women.
What will this do?
A lot of men, not even women, a lot of men and women, some women that are men, don't know how to show gratitude in marriage. A man has gone all the way to Italy or to Germany to buy you something, and you're now saying,
is this all what you bought?
To get size me right.
When Yetunde's husband went to,
exactly.
She bought her something now.
So that leads to another point. Stop comparing your husband, your wife with somebody else.
Exactly.
Don't say that.
Indirectly, you're talking
to your wife. So these are issues for people to think about.
Don't compare. Especially men don't like comparing them with another man.
Don't like comparing.
Men, they have ego.
Oh, yes.
They have their ego.
In fact, it's the highest form of disrespect. If you come home and start telling me that Baba so has just taken the children to Holland, and only God knows, I'm just praying that God will help you. And the moment you tell, some men will take that as if you are praying, but he's very upset. If you are challenging him that God will help you, who told you that I need to go to Holland? Who told you that I really need to, be like Baba? So these are issues for people to think about.
Viewers, it's a very big topic. A very long one, but we're going to make it short today.
Yes.
There's going to be another session, a part B. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Thank you so much,
a
Chief
pleasure.
Kole,
It's a pleasure.
for coming over on this podcast.
It's a pleasure.
And I want to encourage all of you out there, if you're looking forward to a relationship or you are in a relationship already, please take note of all this advice. You're hearing from one of the expertise,
From experience, really.
from experience, you see. So please, please, please don't throw them aside. Make sure you act on them, okay? And I pray all of us would get into a good relationship, have a successful marriage, and God bless you all. Stay tuned and we'll see you in part B. God bless you.